Hey there, it's Clay, and Valentine's Day is getting dangerously close. Now, if you want to get back together with your ex, we're going to be talking about a Valentine's Day strategy, some things to keep in mind, and all of that moving into, of course, this weekend and even beyond. But once again, of course, my name is Clay with ModernLove.life, where we help you get the great loving relationship that you're looking for without having to play mind games, without having to play hard to get, and without having to pretend to be someone or something that you are not. Because you, of course, deserve to be loved for the unique, amazing, and wonderful person that you are. And if you agree with me and you want to help us out with this channel, please give this video a thumbs up. And also, please subscribe to the channel down below. These send messages to the YouTube algorithm that this is a nice video that they might want to think about sharing with other people. Also, I did want to let you know that we do have our new course, Authentic Dating. It's on sort of a special launch discount up through Monday, February 15th in the morning Pacific time. You can find information on that and a link to it right down below. It's an authentic dating course. It's about how to go ahead and successfully date after a breakup. It also includes a special bonus section on dating during a global pandemic. Who thought we'd have to have that as a bonus? Yeah, that'll be there as long as there's a global pandemic. This will help you if you are not in a place where you want to get back together with your ex any longer. Totally okay, I get it. Getting back together with your ex isn't for everyone, and you might have started wanting to get back together with your ex, and maybe you've decided you don't want that for any number of reasons. And if that is where you're at and you want some help with dating, right down below. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this. So yeah, Valentine's Day is coming up. We have talked about this before. If you have been following us during December and the whole holiday season, you know about the holiday expectation effect. You know about how it's kind of like a weird time of year because of expectations, because of people having, thoughts about, what it's supposed to be like during the holidays and all of that. And you know that it's probably kind of a collapsed mini version of that from about the first day of February up through Valentine's Day, so like the first 2 weeks of February. And again, that's because people have expectations about Valentine's Day. People have expectations about what it's supposed to be like. They have expectations about breaking up with a rebound. Nobody wants to be the jerk that dumped someone on like February 13th or something. Does it happen? Yes. Is it common? No. Oftentimes people will try to force something to work, to stay together, even if it's not great, and get through Valentine's Day. And then, 15th, 16th, 17th onward, that's when you might see a relationship that was just kind of, held together with sticks and glue come falling apart, because it's like, okay, great. Now I don't have to worry about being the jerk that dumped someone right before Valentine's Day. But with all that being said, I want to remind you that I don't want you to get hung up on the specific date of Valentine's Day. I don't want you to be hung up on getting some sort of Valentine's Day miracle, some sort of, special reconciliation on Valentine's Day or anything like that. I know that you're smart enough to know that might not happen intellectually, but still a lot of us have this sort of emotional part of us that's like, yeah, it'd be a great time to work things out. It'd be a great time to get back together. I've seen enough movies that, this happens. I'm gonna, just sit quietly, just enjoy myself, and then hopefully I'll see if they text me on Valentine's Day. We'll have a nice conversation. They'll admit they love me. I'll admit I love them, and then we'll be together. It'll be a great time or something like that. But don't get hung up on the actual date of Valentine's Day. Again, if your ex is in a rebound relationship, that rebound relationship is probably going to stick together through Valentine's Day, unless it's just really bad, because no one wants to be the jerk that dumped someone on February 13th or February 14th or February 12th or anything like that. They're probably just going to, at least white knuckle it through Valentine's Day. They're probably going to try and force it to look and seem a certain way, just to get through Valentine's Day. And then, after Valentine's Day, the true colors will come out. Additionally, I want you to take it slow. Again, we don't want to be hung up on a specific date here. If you and your ex don't have some sort of great romantic interaction or anything like that on Valentine's Day, it's okay. It doesn't mean it's not going to happen. First of all, it does happen. Great, cool, awesome. But if it doesn't happen, that's okay. Again, we're not trying to force it to look or seem a certain way. We're not trying to make these covert contracts like, well, if you really cared about me, you'd, confess your undying love on Valentine's Day. We don't want to get caught up in that game because, that's not going to allow us to authentically express what we're feeling or authentically process what we are feeling. What we want to do is we want to just say, okay, Valentine's Day is admittedly just a day out of the year. It is a day out of the year that, for some reason we have decided is some sort of day of romance. If my understanding is correct, Saint Valentine was just someone who would marry common people, would actually, perform weddings for common people, because I guess back in ye olden days, regular non-nobles couldn't get married or something like that. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the history, but somehow we've twisted it into like, okay, that means you need to buy flowers and chocolate and rings and jewelry and romance and stuff like that. It's really just an arbitrary day that we have for some reason decided to, make it about romance. If something happens, cool. If it doesn't happen, don't worry about it. Again, we're the same factors are all still in play here, just like they were back in December in the holiday season. We're not trying to force it to happen within a certain time frame that's artificial, that's trying to force it to happen in a time that might not be emotionally ready for it. We want to just simply keep the progress moving forward, okay? And if you can just remind yourself about that, not get hung up in the Valentine's expectation effect, but just realize, okay, let's just ride this out. Let's see how this happens. Let's see what unfolds as we move forward. You're going to be in a much better place. Again, don't fret about rebound relationships. Your ex is probably going to try to keep that relationship at least together for cosmetic, superficial purposes through Valentine's Day. Afterwards, all bets are off. But as we start to go back into normal, regular time from February 15th up through December, expect that relationship's true colors to start to be revealed. And also don't fall prey to scarcity. I know there's a lot of people out there that might feel some degree of scarcity around Valentine's Day. Whether that's like, okay, we need to have some sort of romantic conversation on Valentine's Day. If they really cared about me, they'd message me on Valentine's Day, or like, oh my goodness, I can't be single on Valentine's Day. I need to hook up with anyone on before then, or something like that. Don't fall prey to that. It's going to probably cause you to make some poor choices, things that might not really be in alignment with what you really want. It's okay to take it slow, like I said before. It's okay to not have it look or seem, some sort of postcard perfect or Instagram perfect sort of life for you on Valentine's Day. It's 100% okay. Once again, it is just one day out of the year. One day. Just because you might happen to be single on this particular Valentine's Day, or just because your life or your love life might not happen to look exactly the way you want it to on this one day out of the year, it doesn't mean that you're a failure. It doesn't mean that no one loves you. It doesn't mean that no one will ever love you. It's just one day out of the year. And just remind yourself that, because, a lot can happen in a year, as, we all can see looking back on the previous 12 months. My goodness. I mean, I think a year ago, like, we were starting to hear the rumblings of this whole pandemic, but most of us, I think, were like, yeah, whatever. And then, 2020 happened. And yeah, so weird times. But yeah, just because a lot can happen in a year, remind yourself that a lot of good can happen in a year too. Like, just because, pandemics and lockdowns and social unrest and bizarro presidential elections and everything else that happens, can be, bad things that happen in a year. Open yourself up to the possibility that just because you're not where you're at right now doesn't mean that this next year opening up for you might not be full of amazing, wonderful, great surprises, miracles, and wonderful love coming into your life, okay? So I hope this helps you out. Once again, if you do want to check out our new dating course called Authentic Dating, it is on discount up through Monday, the 15th. You can check it out right down below in the link. Feel free to sign up if it's right for you. If not, no worries. But, that price is going up on Monday the 15th. Anyway, yeah, thank you so much for watching this. If you do want to learn more about Valentine's Day and the holidays, we do have this whole playlist over here on all of that stuff. Or if you do want to check out this video right here that YouTube will automatically generate and suggest for you, please check that out as well. But thank you so much. Once again, my name is Clay, and this has been modernlove.life.